What a phenomenal stock Nebius is. Just 2 months ago, I posted a breakdown video and it was sitting at 39.5 a share. And in April, we was buying this up at 20 to 22 a share. In this video, I'm going to do a breakdown of their latest earnings report from yesterday. And do stick around to the end of the video because we will be doing the giveaway video for the 400 subscriber target hit. And if you do want to get involved in that for any future, make sure you like and comment on the videos and subscribe. And at 500, we'll be doing the next giveaway. Now let's get into it. So yesterday, Nebius presented their Q2 earnings for 2025. And their stock risen by over 20% on a double beat. And the revenue grew by 4%. And the EPS was beat by 10%. Now, what people need to understand here is that year-on-year growth is 625%, which is absolutely phenomenal. Now, my shares yesterday, I had 160 shares, but I did buy another 20, so it's dropped that average, brought the average up a little bit, so it's brought the return rate percentage down, but we're still up by over £3,500 on this stock. Originally, when I first did my video on this, on a breakdown, I said that we would see it going to around the 70-80 region, which you'll see on your screen now, but phenomenally, this is going 100 plus. I mean, Q3 and Q4 earnings are going to be insane. And we're going to break down a shareholder letter, and we're going to break down some of the stuff that I got from that letter as well. So let's get into it. So firstly, we're going to start off with Arcadis shareholder letter. These are exciting times with AI developing at pace. We stand at the brink of the next great leap in technology. To achieve this, we need to build entirely new infrastructures for AI. This is a great challenge for the next decade and beyond. Outside of a handful of big tech companies, only a few newcomers have built both the technological expertise and multi-billion-dollar scale to play in this field. Nebius is one of them. Demand is continuing to grow rapidly as frontier AI labs build more LLMs. Thousands of new AI native startups develop an even greater number of applications, and large enterprises incorporate AI into critical work streams. We expect the fundamental trends in our space to continue to drive growth for years to come. Nebius is a recognised leader in the AI infrastructure across compute, software, and services, and we are positioning the company to win. In our most recent quarter, we had a number of important accomplishments. We grew revenue 625% year on year and 100% quarter over quarter. That's phenomenal results, that is. That's incredible. A lot of people thought that they would miss on the revenue as well with the Taloka being took off the balance sheet, and they still proved people wrong. With growth supported by strong customer and demand and near peak utilization of our platform, we achieved positive adjusted EBITDA in our core business sooner than expected. By the end of 2025, we expect our connected power to reach 220 milliwatts. This includes capacity that is or will be connected to our data centers. In Finland, we are currently expanding up to 75 milliwatts in New Jersey. We recently increased our commitment to secure 100 milliwatts of power this year and 100 milliwatts of power in 2026. So if they're continuing to get more and more power and they're already utilising everything that they've got, it just shows continued growth. Beyond that, we are in advanced discussions for 2 significant new greenfield sites in the US. Overall, we are in the process of securing more than 1 gigawatt of power by the end of 26. So again, that's a crazy amount of power that they're trying to accumulate. The data centers are flying up quicker than what they were expecting, which is always good to see. Revenue and stuff growing up by substantial amount month, year on year and quarter on quarter. So let's move on to the next slide. Now, one of the big things that people were looking for in the earnings report, it wasn't that they went over on revenue. To be fair, a lot of people thought they would slightly miss because of the Taloka, but the forecast for the AAR. Now, previously they forecasted for 2025 for it to be 500 million to 1 billion in annual revenue run rate. Now they've now changed that to 900 million to 1.1 billion. That's huge. That's probably one of the biggest things that came out of this. I mean, there was a lot of good news, but that's what everyone was looking for, which shows that they ain't slowing down. They're thinking they're going to keep growing and growing and growing. Now, if this is the fact and we're in Q2 and we're having such significant growth in the stock price and in the profit, in the revenue and the EPS, what's going to happen towards the back end of the year? Because we're still so early on. So the group revenue was 105.1 million, which is 106% quarter on quarter and 625% year on year. I still can't get over that. I think it's phenomenal. The cash at the end of Q2 was 1.68 billion. I mean, imagine just having 1.68 billion sitting on your cash sheet. That's good as well. CapEx, 510 million. So the capacity expansion was for the connected power at the 2025 is 220 milliwatts. Again, like I said, I just said in the shareholder letter, they're growing to 1 gigawatt, which is a crazy amount of power. The Kansas City, UK and Israel, they're announced now. I know they've got might be later on in the presentation. They've got a lot of talks that's going on with the UK. They're building a plant that's just outside of London, which is to go live in Q4 25. So that's huge. That's massive. So again, a lot of growth that's going on. They're increasing the speed, some top tier speed and scalability of clusters are verified, training 5-point new benchmark results. So what people think as well is that obviously with the chips going out of date real quick, they think that they'll constantly have to update gear. Well, with Nebius, they've managed to find a way to utilize older chips and still giving it just the same result as having a new one. So they're still updating them constantly, but they don't need to update them at a run rate that people feel like they need to. The selected enterprise customers, so they brought Cloudflare on, so that was a big thing that was announced. People said that they had too many small customers that were startups that they wasn't really that confident in. They've got Shopify as well, which Shopify hugely integrated Nebius into their stuff, which is great. There are other businesses, if you don't know Nebius, other businesses are Avride, and they've got the amongst partners of Uber, Grubhub, and obviously they work with Hyundai as well. Their Triple 10, which is our AI learning program, is having 6,000 new students in Q2. That's massive. And if you don't know much about them again, so their equity investments, they have a ClickHouse equity investment, which they own 28% of, which I think last time I checked was 1 point something billion, but that valuation just keeps going up and up. And Toloka, which was part of Nebius, but now it's come off the balance sheet because it's now just an equity that they hold because there's obviously Bezos and stuff have invested into it. So they've got Toloka on there as well, which is obviously promising. I think further down the line, what they're going to do with ClickHouse, which we'll touch on further on in this, is they're going to use their equity once they run for the IPO and then do it that way. So they're in no rush to sell it, but there's a lot of money there on hand if they need it. So here we've got an update on Avride Triple 10. Avride and Triple 10. So the Avride expanded robotic delivery use cases across multiple geographies. Avride continues to scale its autonomous delivery operations in the US. Robots delivered Uber Eats orders from restaurants across Jersey City, Dallas, and Austin, which we obviously know from when we did the analysis. The business also piloted a grocery delivery use case from an H-E-B supermarket, one of Texas's largest grocery chains. Restaurant delivery operations also continued at the Ohio State University through a partnership with Grubhub, launched in early 2025, at which they had significant numbers of orders coming through, which was crazy. In Japan, Avride partnered with Mitsu Fudosan to deploy robots at a country's largest outlet mall. Robots deployed as part of this pilot are tasked with handling warehouse to store logistics, such as delivering packing materials to store and routing packed items to central pickup points for delivery. So this is it. This is one of the things we have to remember and take on, is everybody sees Nebius as these data centers and the clusters and all this, and that's phenomenal, and that's obviously where the core business and money comes. But they've also got a lot of arms to this business that further down the line they might end up selling off to make more cash for the core business, which a few of us were discussing in the Discord yesterday. Which again, if you're not part of the Discord, that is in the description, so it is worth joining. There's so much information in there. It's free. So nobody needs to force anyone to go there. Trust me, it's well worth being in there. And we was talking about this and whether they would sell off some of the arms further down the line. It depends on where the core business needs to go. But it shows there's a lot of excitement things going on outside of it as well. In Q2, Avride continued fleet testing in Dallas in preparation of its commercial launch with Uber later in 2025. Testing focuses on real-world operating conditions to validate safety and performance. The fleet includes Ionic autonomous vehicle development in partnership with Hyundai, with Avride responsible for software development and systems integration. So like I say, got a lot still to come in the back end of this year of Q2, Q3, Q4. A lot, like I said, there's just so much going on. Triple 10, strong growth in the student enrollment driving revenue. Triple 10 continues to deliver strong growth, supported by quarter-over-quarter enrollments increased by approximately 6,000 new learners and growth in average revenue per click. These trends reflect sustained demand across core markets, including the US and Latin America. Customer acquisitions remained efficient, supported by continued referral-driven enrollments and sales team productivity. So again, Triple 10 smashing it as well. They're growing, which is phenomenal. Avride's growing. Everything's great. So we've got a lot of potential on the arms of the business here as well. So as previously mentioned, we've got the equities that they own and the stakes that they own in, which is Toloka and ClickHouse. Toloka, in May, Toloka raised capital from leading investors, Bezos Expenditures, and we tried to say that in the last video, but we're not going to try and say it again, as well as Nebius. In connection with his transaction, Nebius Group's voting shares in Toloka dropped below 50%, giving the Toloka team more autonomy to grow and scale their business. Nebius continues to own a significant major economic stake in these businesses and intends to continue to support its growth and success. Our remaining stake in Toloka is accounted for under the equity method, which means obviously it can't be on the balance sheet because it's more of an investment now, like an asset more than it is, like I say, part of its own business core. ClickHouse is an open source database platform which we originally spun out in 2021. We currently own a minority equity stake in ClickHouse and participate in the company's most recent fundraising round. Well, I think they raised a few billion. It was in my last video again. I'd have to get the facts on that, but it's crazy the valuation of what ClickHouse is, and it hasn't even IPO'd yet. And we've seen some of the IPOs recently in the IPO season. It's been nuts. So the committed scale into sustainability. This is where they go on about how they're trying to save the world with how they're doing what they're doing, etc. And in total, 94% of the electricity we consume came from low carbon sources. So again, not killing the world, which is always great to see. This is where it gets a little bit phenomenal. When you look at 2024 revenue, it's 14.5 million. 2025 revenue, 105.1 million to 625% change. That's crazy to fathom that in a year. It's just mental. The group revenue was 105 million, up 625%. Quarter over quarter, excluding Toloka's results, which has been reclassified to discontinued operations because now it's coming off. So like I say, Q4 24 was at 35.2 mil, Q1 25, 50.9 mil, and Q2 25 were at 105.1 mil. Phenomenal, crazy. So the adjusted EBITDA of this stock in 2024 was 58.1 mil loss, and in 2025 it's 21 mil loss. So again, we're getting closer and closer to constant positive profitability. They have said that for the full year of 2026, they expect to be fully positive profitable. So we have to look at all the fundamentals, everything that's going on here. The share price is really high in regards to a value. It was at 20 in April when it was 60 something. It's phenomenal. So if this is where we are now, where are we going to be in a year's time from now? It's a very exciting investment for me, and I was first going to cash out around the 80 mark, like I said in my previous video. But for me, I see this scaling well over 100 a share. So I'm going to be holding, carrying on growing my position. And that was my review of the Q2 earnings. So let's get into the prize giveaway. So firstly, I'd like to start by thanking everybody for supporting the channel. Since 300 subscribers to 400 subscribers, we've uploaded 4 videos. And I've dragged all of the comments from those videos, and we've had 233 people take part in that. So I really do appreciate all the support. If you would like to get involved in this, all you simply have to do is subscribe to the channel, comment on the videos. It's free. You're already there watching the video, so you might end up winning something. For every video you do comment on, you get another chance. So if you comment on all 4 videos, you get four chances. It's free, so why not get yourself involved? So let's shuffle up these names and let's get the first one drawn. Obviously, whoever does win this video, you will have to obviously prove that it is you. I will have the way that you can prove it because there's so many people that try and scam to win, to take other people's prizes. You won't believe how much stress it causes, but we like to give back on the channel to show support to people that show support to me. So the first person who's winning £100 going to be Jake, VK6HF. I'm pretty sure Jake's won on this channel before. But hey, you show support to the channel. It comes around fourfold. So thank you very much, Jake, for showing your support. And the next person for the next £50, we do always say we're going to give £100 away, but I don't. I end up doing 200 every single time. So the next person for £50 is going to be Janine Faulkner. There's 2 people who've already run on this channel before, but it is what it is. If they show support, don't they? And that's how we like to do it. So thank you very much for showing your support. And a third and final person who's going to be winning a prize is going to be Paul Craig. So again, thank you very much for everybody that supports the videos. On the way to up to 500, let's do the same. Let's comment all the videos, show me your support, and being with a chance of winning these prizes. So thank you very much for supporting the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.